Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune into the Ladies in Red.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. We are smiling. Early kickoff. Weekend isn't ruined. 3 points, a massive 3 points as well off the back of that Liverpool win. And I'm joined by the lovely Mais. Mais, firstly, thanks for joining me. And how are you feeling after that?
I'm very well, thanks, Soph. How are you? And I'm happy for the win. We definitely needed it.
Yeah, I'm buzzing with the win. Wasn't the most glamorous performances. I thought we saw a different side to us where we worked hard. They grafted, obviously, for ages. We said we've lacked that desire, that effort from the lads. And today I thought they really dug in. Southampton, they had a few chances, but all in all, I thought we defended really solidly. And what a goal as well to settle the game. I think that was a deserved winner, if I'm totally honest. And for Bruno to score it, a player who's been getting a lot of stick of late, obviously hasn't really been hitting the heights. I'm going to ask you a question, mate. Do you think it's a coincidence that as soon as Ronaldo isn't playing, Bruno all of a sudden seems to be having more of an influence again? And obviously on Monday night, it's more the shithousery influence, where he was winding the Scousers up. You know, that nasty side of the game, if you want to call it that. And then today, obviously, a special goal really to seal the 3 points for us. I mean, I'm not saying Bruno was exceptional, but I just feel like he's getting into the game a bit more. He's having more of an influence on games, whereas when Ronaldo was there, a lot of people were saying that that's been a bit of a problem. What's your thoughts on that?
I definitely see what people mean, because I think with Ronaldo and Bruno, the reason why I don't think they play as well together is because they're kind of getting the same spaces as one another, so they isolate each other's play. And there was another thing, like Ronaldo with the Bruno was taking all our penalties beforehand. Ronaldo started taking them. Bruno was already always on the free kicks, set pieces, corners. Then Ronaldo was taking the set pieces if we were right near to the goal. And we've seen a couple of goals from a couple of seasons ago of what that was the kind of goals what Bruno was scoring. So there was not just how the kind of space to get in. Bruno was restricted in things what he used to play a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, and I think, like I've already mentioned, it was a great goal. Ronaldo came on. Obviously, I thought he was injured, to be fair. He went down for a little spell, didn't he? But he got back up. But what I do think is, obviously, it gives us something totally different. We can go the Ronaldo route, which is obviously the more direct, pump it up to him and try and win the second ball. Or we could do what we started with, where we're going from probably more of a false kind of 9, like Rashford ideally isn't that number 9, is he? But yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't think we were at our fluent best and whatnot. You wouldn't say we played the most amazing football, but the football for the goal was exceptional. Southampton were never going to be pushovers. Obviously, away from home, our form has been terrible as well. And I have to say, getting a clean sheet, like we have to feel positive about that. Seeing our defenders celebrating clearances and stuff, like, is exactly what I want to see from my defenders. And yeah, Varane and Martinez, yet again, I thought they were solid.
They were solid, and knowing that was our first clean sheet since Watford at home in February, that really speaks levels. And we always know that it is the defence and the defending what helps you win trophies, what helps you go far. And
yeah,
I think both Martinez and Varane are a brilliant centre-back partnership. And what I love more about Martinez is that he has proved a lot of the pundits wrong, because a lot of pundits were saying, oh, Martinez isn't good enough, he's too small to be in the Premier League, his height. But he's showing to everybody, it doesn't matter about my height, because I've got qualities elsewhere which makes me a good centre-back. And this game and Liverpool game has shown the true potential what Martinez can be. And for me, I think he is the kind of, as well as him being left-footed, his qualities are the defending what we have missed for quite a long time.
Yeah, definitely. And it's that tenacity, isn't it? I've already mentioned the passion between the two whenever they make a clearance, and especially keeping a clean sheet, seeing them celebrating that like a goal. Like, you want to see that from your defenders. Malacia, I think, has come in, and you mentioned it off camera, you feel like he had a bit of a nervy game, but what I love about Malacia is he'll lose the ball, he'll make a mistake or whatnot, or he'll get turned, and that desire to get back and get a foot in, he's got that bit of bite about him, and I feel like we've lacked that too many times. We've seen players get turned and they're strolling back or the head drops. That doesn't happen with this kid, and I'm really liking what I see from him as well. But yeah, we have to be positive. Like I say, it wasn't the most glamorous win, but you know what? 3 points is the most important thing, especially off the back of that Liverpool game as well. It's not an easy place to go to, St Mary's, and yeah, I think I have to give them credit because they dug deep. Ericsson in the first half, I thought he was spraying the ball, showing us his true quality as well and what he can bring. And obviously Casemiro coming on for a little bit as well, about 13 minutes, I think it was, maybe slightly more than that. I mean, what's your first impressions on him? Obviously, it's hard to say, but yeah, I'm excited to see Casemiro at United.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Casemiro. What I've seen, he looked great, but he needs for me to have more minutes and to play more game time. I think he'll probably will most likely start against Leicester, in my opinion. Just because I think he's only had about 2 training sessions, so it's understandable he did come off the bench. And in my opinion, as much as I thought Scott McTominay had a good last game, this game he wasn't the best, and he was very lucky that we didn't get a penalty given to Southampton based off that handball situation. Because
that made me laugh because every limb, even shared him, so it seems to just ricochet between the both of them. But yeah, I think McTominay is the one that everyone thinks naturally will come out for Casemiro. But what I will say, in games like today, when obviously I know there's a lot of talk about Martinez's height and stuff, and we know we're not the biggest of teams anyway. Like I think McTominay does give us a bit more physicality off them long throws in particular, which is obviously a game plan of theirs. So I can kind of see, and when Casemiro was warming up, I didn't say get McTominay off because I knew he has that bit of physicality. If nothing else, he throws himself in there. He wins a lot of headers, and I can see why he was kept on there for that reason only.
Yeah.
On the ball, we know McTominay simply isn't good enough. We know that. But in terms of those physical duels, I think that's why he was kept on there. And I have to say, I agree with Ten Hag on that. But yeah, Casemiro for McTominay for the Leicester game, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that happening. Fred obviously came on towards the end as well, got a booking, which was well worth the taking, to be fair. Like, obviously, stopping their counter attack. Yeah, like, it's going into this Leicester game now. Like, we've got 2 wins. We've just got a clean sheet as well, which is more for us to build on. Do you sense that we're building that bit of momentum now, Mais, that we can actually kick on and get a run of games? I mean, it would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice, but we do definitely have a tough test ahead of us because not just the Leicester game ahead. On the Sunday, we have Arsenal, and at this moment in time, Arsenal are currently unbeaten in the league. They've had such brilliant signings who are making a massive difference to that squad. And I wouldn't be surprised when I do look at this Leicester game ahead that we do make a couple of tweaks in the game just so we can rest our players for Arsenal. Because for me, I think we need the strongest lineup. I think for me at the moment, the back four has been terrific, and I wouldn't change that unless there's injuries. But in terms of the midfield and the front three, I think they do need to have some adjustments. Like when Anthony Martial's back, for instance, I'd love him to start and perhaps maybe put Rashford in on the left, Sancho on the right, and then put Alanga on in the second half, for instance. Or you could change around with Scott and Fred and switch around with Bruno and Ericsson in that number 10 role. One plays an 8, one plays a 10, whatever's best. But I do, speaking on that, I do think actually Ericsson plays better as an 8 from what I've seen at United because he picks up possession very, very well and he holds possession well. And that's what you want in a number 8. Whereas with a number 10, it's more for creative, which I think Bruno's better at.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with this as well. Hope Fran stays fit because Martinez and Varane, for me, definitely seeming like the partnership to go forward. Do you think today, and I saw something else saying in the chat, I apologise, I didn't know who it was, today highlights, though, the need to strengthen in those attacking areas because obviously Ronaldo, like I say, he came on, gives us something a bit different. He was limping early on. We don't know whether he's staying anyway, but say if Ronaldo did get injured there, with Martial being out as well. Like our attacking options, on the bench today, we only had one winger option, really, and that was Garnacho. Surely we need to bring someone like Anthony, Gakpo. I mean, it'd be nice from now before the end of the window to get someone like that in, wouldn't it, Maze? Like, can you see that happening?
With Anthony, I think it's just getting more and more slim every day. They've rejected a £90 million bid. And if they're rejecting that, knowing that's what they asked for, it's going to be extremely difficult. And as much as I'd like Anthony, I wouldn't mind Gakpo either. I've seen parts of Gakpo what I really like. I like how Gakpo is another option as well as attacking option. He's good. He does his corner set pieces and free kicks. That's another option for if Ericsson or Bruno doesn't want to do it. I like he's got real good pace. He's quite physical as well for me. He's quite technical in terms of his feet. So I wouldn't mind Gakpo, and I think Rude potentially may ask the board to be a bit more accommodating with us, let's just say, because Rude is the current PSV manager.
Yeah. Curtis said there, we need more signings to give us better options from the bench. Fans moaning about the fees are hilarious. Yeah, it makes the fans like, not more money. They're the ones that make me laugh. Price tag for Anthony is ridiculous. The price tag is ridiculous, but he's a very exciting talent. I know that, and obviously he's desperate to come to United. He's obviously practically trying to force that move, but like you say, it's looking more and more challenging as the days go closer to that deadline. And then Zoe and James having a chat there. Big up to James. I hope you're doing well, and Zoe as well. Obviously, two fans from different teams. So thanks for popping in and seeing us. We appreciate that. But yeah, I think a winger in particular. We always say about a striker and stuff. But when I think about what's available out there right now, I know Belotti obviously is available. But out of number 9 options, there's not a lot. And if the Ten Hag system, maybe a winger, just basically more strength going forwards, something a bit different. And I think Anthony does give you something a bit different. Obviously, and we know he likes a bit of a showboat. He's fast, he's technical. He's a bit more direct. Like, he's not afraid to take a man on. And I think that's the kind of thing that we like. Sancho, we saw it so many times today. He gets the ball, lovely footwork, but he never beats a man. Never beats a man. And don't get me wrong, Southampton a lot of time are ganging up on him, 2 or 3 players around him. And of course, I understand that. But I just want someone who's a bit more direct. You know, when Rashford was in his prime, in his top form, Rashford was so direct, running at players, running past players. Pace is something that's so hard to defend against, and I think that's something that we lack. And I think that's probably why Elanga's a useful player to have. Probably not the best technical player, but there's no doubting about it. He can be direct. He will run at players, and he's fast. So I think that's something that maybe we could add for sure. But like I say, Thursday, another game comes. It'd be interesting to see how much we rotate. You'd think we need to. We need to make use of that squad depth, and we need to strengthen even more, like we mentioned. I mentioned Gakpo, I mentioned Anthony, but another player who's rumoured to be coming back or to be linked to coming back is Memphis Depay. Now, I don't know your opinion. We haven't had a conversation about Memphis. Obviously, he was at Barcelona and whatnot. But do you like the idea of Memphis coming back? Because Memphis was one that I was always gutted about. Like, I was rooting for him. I wanted him to do well. That link up we had with Luke Shaw. Obviously, Luke Shaw had that terrible injury, and it kind of went to pot from there, really. I was always rooting for him. I remember being at the Bruges game when Van Gaal said he wanted to kiss Memphis after the game. I remember and he always shown in flashes that he had something special, but it never fully worked out. Like, do you believe there's a chance he could come back?
The thing is, I'd absolutely love Memphis to come back. I really liked Memphis. And the thing is with Memphis as well, he's quite versatile, which we don't have in the Manchester United team. He can play on the left-hand side, and we've seen him play as a striker because he played as a striker before Aubameyang came through for Barcelona. And we know, well, from what I've been hearing, Memphis is supposed to be wanting a return back to Manchester United. And at 10 million, I would rather take a gamble for 10 million, if you want me to be honest, because you've got nothing to lose. And Memphis is probably in his prime years now. And if he is open for that challenge, I don't see any harm in doing it. Even if we'd done it as for instance, a 2-year solution till we got Anthony at a cheaper deal, it's still, I think it's worth it for that 10 million. For someone who wants to come to the club.
I think if it was me, I'd obviously be going all out for Anthony, but once I'm getting a signal that deal isn't going to happen unless you're spending ludicrous money, then it's a short-term fix, really, isn't it, to get someone like Memphis for 10 mil. A player you'd think's got unfinished business at us as well, let's add that. But the only thing I would say about him is his character. Obviously, we've just got rid of Lingard, we just got rid of Pogba, people who were dancing, and obviously a lot of people didn't like that. Memphis literally releases rap videos. I don't know if people have seen it, but obviously he classed himself as a bit of a rapper, and I don't know how many people are going to have an issue with that. Does he fit into the profile, I'd say, of a Ten Hag team? That's the only thing I would say, but I think he's got a lot of potential. Like saying flashes, it was he's shown that he can do something special, and it's someone that I was always rooting for, and I was a bit gutted when it didn't work out. So if he came back and obviously it worked out, then I'm all for it for 10 million as well. I think that's fair enough, like Curtis said there, fair enough. Hello to Apple, I hope you're doing well. Sorry, mate.
How could I say, quite vigilant in making deals with Barcelona after the Frankie de Jong incident now? Because who's to say they say, 10 million, we put that bid in and then they take the mick again?
Yeah. Barcelona, the way that it's been, I mean, it shows a lot about how much Frankie must love and must have aspired to play at Barcelona to still want to play under them now after how he's been treated. Do you know what I mean? Openly throughout this window, like they said they're going to sue him and whatnot. Like, to still want to play for owners like that, you must really, really love that club. And I can't knock a player for wanting, obviously fulfilling his dream and wanting to stay there. But like you say, the whole what signs did we have as a club then? If it is that all along he is sticking to his guns, Frankie wants to say, regardless of a pay drop and what signs did we have to tell us that actually there was a chance in us getting him, like to chase him or some of the way that we have done? Do you know what I mean? And I think that they've had our pants down, really. That's our own fault, really, because all along we were saying, oh, Ten Hag's obviously had a conversation with him. There's got to be something, otherwise you wouldn't chase a player since May, like we have done, or however long it has been. So, yeah, it's a confusing one. A lot of people still believe that with Casemiro coming in, we could still get Frankie. I don't see that at all. I think Casemiro was obviously the other option. But obviously, we keep saying it, but squad depth is important, and we need to get as much quality in as possible before the end of the window. And in particular, attackers. I always said a right back would be nice as well. But Delo, what's your thoughts on his performance today? Obviously, you got a booking and whatnot. But Delo, to be fair, is someone who frustrates me so much. You saw one glimpse of it in the first half. He got into a great position, and he put way too much on his cross. Like, his final product, for me, has to improve drastically. But defensively, I do think he is improving. Under Ten Hag, I do think he is improving. Mais, what's your thoughts?
Well, you know my thoughts on Delo overall, but in my opinion, he didn't do too bad. I think there was spells where I thought he done very well. I think there was the odd time where Southampton did bully Delo a little bit, and I did see more of their attacking play on his side. So I think we still
Armstrong, yeah.
see them weaknesses on our right hand side, because if you outrun Delo, you know that you're gonna keep hold of that ball and you're gonna get a crossing. I'm still not overly convinced of him. He has improved, don't get me wrong, but I still think we should be looking at a right back option to compete with him. The cross he made though for Bruno's goal, it was very, very good. I couldn't knock that, but overall, I think we still need to be looking around for a right back.
I think you have to remember though, Delo is very young. It feels like he's been around forever. Is he 23? I think he might be 23. Yeah. So he's still very young, obviously, under a new manager. I'm hoping that he's one of these that we don't sell him, but I do think we need a better option for now. But long term, I'm hoping that we can kind of develop him, because I do think he's got the right attributes. He's just like you mentioned it there. You said he's a bit bitty. He'll do something really good, but then in the next breath, he'll do something absolutely ludicrous. Like, there's no consistencies to his game just yet. But I'm hoping that he's one that we can develop. Because, okay, he's 23. Like, he's still very, very young. And I'm not writing him off just yet, but I do believe a right back would help us in this market. But again, in terms of right backs, I know Desta's been linked to us, but is there any right backs out there, Mais, that you think realistically we could get right now in the market at this time?
Well, there's a few who I like, but who we get would be different. I would have personally tried to get Spence before he went to Tottenham Hotspur. He could have been a good shout. Another shout for me would have been Dumfries. He would be one I'd take. And my personal favourite after Spence would have been Baku from Wolfsburg. He would have been another option I would have took, just because of how great he is defensively. Plus, he's very versatile. He can play as a right back. He can play as a right midfielder. He can play as a wing back. He can play in numerous of different positions on that pitch. And I think it's very, very important to have versatile players on that pitch. Just like Southampton's got of Joe Aribo, you need the versatility for if there's an injury or someone coming on, you know they can move to them positions to suit the team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was why a lot of people like the idea of Timber coming as well, because obviously you can play right back as well, and a lot of people like the idea of having someone versatile like that who could take up a few positions in that back four. But it'd be interesting to see if we do get a right back four. And Spence was one that I genuinely thought we were going to go in for Spence, because he was kind of openly flirting with the fact that he loves United and stuff. And I don't know what I just had an opinion that we'd go in for him, and obviously that never transpired. But yeah, we shall see. It looks like the most likely is Dest, but you've already mentioned it. I don't really want to be dealing with Barcelona right now in the current the way that it's been the whole summer. I'd rather stay clear, but we shall see. And the Red Devils said Neves for United, Premiership tried and tested. I'd love Neves, but he ain't coming now. He's got Nunes to play alongside at Wolves. He ain't coming now, definitely. But today's performance, we said it wasn't the best, but there was a few people I think who properly put a shift in. Who would you say your player of the match for today then? Who would you go for? I'll put you on the spot there.
I'd have to go with Martinez. He was absolutely outstanding. He was great in the air. He was great at his feet. He was very supportive, like as you've mentioned, cheering on for the team. As much as we did pay a bit pricey, as people would say, for me, I just think he was brilliant. Not by far, but you could tell he was a standout player. And then after him, I would probably have to go with Christian Eriksen just because of the way he held up that possession. He was able to cancel out the plays in Southampton. He worked very, very hard, especially in that first half. So it'd be Martinez and Eriksen who would be my two choices, but Eriksen if I had to pick the one.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with Martinez. I think again he looks solid, and it seems like everything that's being thrown at him is kind of just thrown back at the minute, like including the pundits' comments about him and stuff like that. He's proper up for it, but I think Varane as well. I'd have to put up there. I think them two as a pair. If I could suggest a pair to be player of the match, I think I'd go for both of them because I think they complement each other nicely, and you can see there's chemistry between them there, which is fantastic. So I can't remember the last time we had a centre back pairing that had chemistry between them. We literally changed from game to game. We haven't had that. So if we can keep them two fit, them two, I think, yeah, quality. Red Devil said there that Martinez gives him Vidic vibes. Brilliant. Yeah, I love watching him. And no matter who he's playing against, even if he doesn't win the ball, he's always leaving a foot in or he's leaving, you know what I mean? He's leaving his arm in. He's letting the players know that he's there. He did it with Salah straight away in that Liverpool game. And today, again, several times with Chadham's, letting him know he's there. He's not nice to play against. And I think for ages now, we've been too nice to play against. But yeah, I'll probably go Martinez, Varane closely. I think I'll put there, but as a pairing, I thought they were both superb. And De Gea, to be fair, he's had a lot of stick and whatnot, but he made a good save as well, didn't he, Mais, as well? Was it in the first half, that save? I think it was, wasn't it?
I think, was it the first or the second? I can't remember if it was the first or the second.
I can't remember either. It was
I feel like it was the second half because I can't think of anything outstanding in that first half apart from them saves.
It was second half, you know. Yeah, it was second half.
Yeah, that was the only thing I can think of properly from the first half. But yeah, it was the second half, De Gea, and it was a great save. And you could see then, because I can't remember who shot it, De Gea saved it, and then it went back, it was skied over. See Martinez running over to De Gea, like, yeah, like I loved it. It was great.
Can we just appreciate as well, or talk about the bit of FIFA that we witnessed in that first half, by the way? We just could not get that. It was proper scripted. Like, I don't know what happened. Obviously, Elanga had 2 pops at it. Bruno had a pop at it. Then Eriksen had the final pop at it. And we just could not get it in. I was just thinking, is it going to be one of them days? Like, when you see stuff like that, you know what I mean? I don't know how that... I don't think I've ever witnessed, other than on FIFA. If you guys watch my ECL streams, you'll know that this happens a lot, where you just can't score. For whatever reason, you just can't score. Yeah, I feared the worst from that point. I was thinking it's going to be one of them days where we're just not going to find the back of the net. But we mentioned it already, the bit of quality for the goal. I mean, the finish from Bruno made it look simple. Great ball from Delo. But who started it off? Elanga, just direct, playing between the lines, playing forwards, and then obviously moving after his pass as well. So yeah, like, I think plenty to feel positive about. I'm not running away with it. It wasn't the most convincing performance, but we always say when you're not playing your best, it's important that you scrape through. Top teams do that. And we've done that today. We scraped through. Created some chances along the way, scored a beautiful goal, kept a clean sheet, first time since February, did you say? Which is amazing. So there's plenty to feel positive about, isn't there, Mais, after today?
Yeah, definitely something to feel positive about. I think slowly but surely, you can see in this team, and this is the first time I've seen this team where they look determined and they actually want to play the football. So yeah, I was very impressed, and if this World Cup incident wasn't happening, I would actually say keep the same starting lineup, unless of course you need to rotate for the Europa League. But yeah, especially now you can. I've seen Real Madrid are playing 12 games in 38 days. It's just ridiculous.
It's mad, isn't it? And what's your thoughts before we do round off? Obviously, we haven't spoken about the Europa draw. What's your thoughts on our group? Are you feeling happy with it? I mean, Sociedad probably say the biggest test. But there's a few, I mean, Sheriff are there as well, who obviously gave Madrid a run for their money last season and what. So we have to be wary of them, though. We can't be complacent going into it, but it's the one that we should be feeling favourable about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a Europa League draw I was very happy about. I've never heard of Ammonia. I don't know what they're like as a team.
Cyprus, from Cyprus, I believe.
Yeah, I seen that they finished 7th, and their league is very weird. It's a bit like the SPL. It breaks up kind of thing, but they got to a final themselves in their own cup, but they lost in that. Sharif, you've seen Sharif, they can put up a good fight. You've seen in the Real Madrid Champions League last season, they can get some points if needed to be, and Real Sociedad's a great team with David Silva. I'm looking forward to seeing him because he still plays like he's in his 20s. That's how great he is.
Isaac obviously just gone to Newcastle as well, which is a big loss, you think, then?
it will be a loss, definitely. And I think from what I've heard is Sociedad is supposed to be wanting to look at Memphis as well as a Isak replacement, and I've heard Juventus are wanting Memphis too. So if they get Memphis, I think it'll be a little bit tougher than we think. But if we played Sociedad, for instance, without a well-known like a striker who I'm overly convinced about, I wouldn't be as worried. Let's just say, because I think they might use a false nine approach, put one of the wingers up front.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've got to feel positive going into that draw. I do think it gives us chances to rotate players. I know you were laughing there about Shaw and Harry, but plenty of players that I think we should be rotating and using our squad for. And hopefully, until the end of the market now, we've got a bit of time, not long, but hopefully we can get a few fresh faces in as well. Because today, I think proved, especially in those attacking areas, we need some more squad depth. But we got the win. We got the clean sheet. We can smile on Saturday. We ain't going to be down in the dumps because United have lost. And we can watch match of the day tonight because we scored a good goal as well. So I want to watch that back. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I comfortably watched match of the day. If we play like we did against like Brentford and Brighton, I don't watch it. I don't know about you, Mace, but I know it's like salty, but I just can't watch it. I just can't make myself suffer again, so I just avoid it altogether. So yeah, I'll look forward to watching that tonight for sure. But Mace, thank you so much as always for joining me. Please let people know where they can find your channel as well and all your great content too.
Thanks for having me on, Soph. It's been a great discussion. My YouTube channel is there, Devils United, Manchester United content there, and a little bit of sporting content I've been doing as well.
Yeah, definitely go and check it out. Fantastic content there. Very consistent as well, mate. I love that. And Ladies in Red will be back this week. We'll get Nat on as well. We're just sorting a time, but we'll be back with a show this week. Hopefully before that Leicester game. But yeah, I'm actually feel like it's a weird feeling to this early on a Saturday to be confident and to be smiling that we've got 3 points in the bag and we can relax and watch all the other teams. So I'm looking forward to watching some more football. And guys, if you are new, please hit that subscribe button on Ladies in Red. I'd appreciate it. Hit a like on the video. And if I have missed any comments, just drop your comments in there below and I'll always respond to you there. All that's left to say is enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good one. Take care.